Police emergency.
Every night, across Britain,
We've got officers making sure it's an emergency, OK?
an army of officers
Alpha Hotel 35, about 2 minutes out.
clock on
Just come here, mate. Just stop there, stop there.
So you're under arrest on suspicion of criminal damage.
to keep the peace
Cover the front, cover the front.
Move, move, move.
and protect us
Police and taser, stop!
while we sleep.
Get on the floor now! On the floor!
Being a police officer under cover of darkness is so much more dangerous than it is during the day.
Stop!
Give me your hands now.
We filmed with Gloucestershire Constabulary,
We've got one male detained.
following their 999 response teams
Any mobiles available to attend a grade 1 if we've got a fight?
Hotel 31, we just got one running.
and with specialist units
Police, come back to bed!
He's picked up a track. Good boy.
to show the highs
The sun is setting. Expect the unexpected.
and the lows
You had your penis out. I mean, we're at crisis point right now.
of the night shift.
The night shift can just change like that.
Relax. Relax for a second. Relax.
It is the best job in the world.
There's nobody around here. We'll have a look at the vehicle and see what we can find out.
Near Tewkesbury, cops are using their body cams to film the scene of a late night crash.
Stinks of weed in there, mate. I can smell weed in there, yeah, so...
Just for the log, the airbags have deployed on this vehicle.
A driver has gone missing after crashing at high speed on a busy road.
There's a wooded area by the Marriott Hotel. I don't imagine these guys have gone far.
The occupants of the car could be high on drugs or injured, and officers need to quickly track them down.
There's a NOS canister between the driver's legs.
PC Dawkins is the nearest dog unit to the scene.
Yeah, no worries. I'll make now. So it's outside the Toby Carvery, is it?
I think also the Chase Hotel, which is close to the Toby Carvery, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll make now from Hempstead. There's been a RTC involving a vehicle with no insurance, and the occupants of the vehicle have left the vehicle. So they're asking me to go and see if I can pick a track up from the vehicle to find the occupants. Usually we find when a car's crashed and there's nobody with it, they've done something wrong. It's either drink or drugs or both, or they shouldn't be driving it. They don't have a license. They're too young. There's numerous reasons why, but it normally is because they've done something wrong. Elmo will pick up the most recent human scent. As you walk along, you're always dropping skin particles, particles from your clothing, the smell of your shoes, and we will start him off at the car, so he'll get the scent from the car, and hopefully he will follow that scent from the car, and we'll hopefully find the occupants.
Traffic cops are waiting at the crash site, ready to update PC Dawkins.
Has anyone actually been in the car?
No, we've been on the out. So
Windows open, we haven't heard.
the keys in the ignition, the vehicle's locked. All of these, the boot is. So.
Before Dawkins puts police dog Elmo to work, he first tries to work out the likelihood of the occupants being injured.
You can see the track marks in the ground there, look.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's come through those bushes, hence all the bush in the car. And then where he's been turning left, he's hit that post there, which has snapped the wheel round. And then finished with a lovely little skid along here. He's just avoided two main trunks of trees just in there. I think we'd have had a different story. We wouldn't have been tracking to find them then, I don't think. This sort of incident is perfect for the dogs. It is a tracking scenario, which is our bread and butter, really. It gives a car full of scent to start with, and then hopefully the dog will then pick it up outside the car and off he goes. So you can see where he's got his nose down. Get on. He's tracking the scent from the car.
As Elmo starts tracking, further down the road, officers have stopped a couple seen walking away from the crash site.
You right just to come this side, just so we're out off the road? No driving licence? How old are you? 17.
The couple are uninjured
So you've been up here all day?
and deny being involved in the accident.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Elmo is closing in on where they have been stopped with a trail picked up from the crashed car.
Just to explain to you at the moment, we've got a dog that's going to track from the RTC, so we're going to let them do their job. Is this dog going to find you? Is it going to come straight back to you guys? Sure?
He's pulling in. Boy.
Anybody trapped at all in any vehicles?
Near Gloucester, emergency reports are coming in about a high-speed accident on a busy stretch of the A40.
There's been a collision where a van is, I believe, upside down at the moment. We've got a male trapped in the vehicle.
Traffic Officer Sergeant Gladwin is the nearest patrol to the accident.
Limited information is coming in on what's happened, so it could be that the road's got a bit wet. We shall see what's happened when we get there.
As Sergeant Gladwin arrives, the driver is still trapped, with the emergency crews battling to cut him free.
It appears we've got a male trapped in the vehicle still, which fire are working on to get him out. Unknown the seriousness of the injuries at the moment. We've got the road all closed now, so we can safely do the work. Fire can do what they need to do.
It's not life-threatening at the moment.
No.
He looks like he's in a bit curled up and he's on top of himself in a very awkward.
As the emergency crews continue to struggle freeing the driver, Sergeant Gladwin updates the control room.
I've just spoken to the fire officer. They say he's quite well trapped and all curled up in there, so it could potentially be serious injury.
You're going to research the 10 exit and I'll keep going south down the motorway looking across the shoulder.
On the M5, just outside Gloucester, PC Webb, aka Bear, is out on patrol.
When I was in front of him, I could see.
I've been in the police service now for 18 years. I don't know why people call me Bear. It was given to me on day one. It just stuck and everyone started calling me it. I don't think many people actually know me by my real name, so Bear it is.
Bear is looking for drink drivers when he spots a van swaying across the middle lane.
So we know he's got a near side rear light out, so he's not very visible.
But as Bear gets closer,
he's watching the telly at 70 miles an hour. It boggles the mind. I just don't know what goes through people's mind. So I'm going to be stopping and speaking to the driver, and I'll be dealing with him for that.
So it could potentially be serious injuries, but we'll know more when we can get them out.
near Gloucester, Sergeant Gladwin has closed a stretch of the A40 as emergency crews try to free a driver with potentially life-changing injuries.
When we first got here, he was laid with his neck like that. It's like shit, because I was going to block him up because he was snorting.
Yeah.
You know when they make the snort, they can't breathe.
Yeah. The man has been trapped for over 30 minutes, and as time passes, concern is growing for his condition.
Priority at the moment is preservation of life, so all we will do is keep the scene closed down, give fire and the ambulance the room to work in what they need, but bearing in mind that we might have an investigation to do as well with it, so we'll try and gather any evidence that we can in between, speak to witnesses, take some photographs and just secure everything we can.
As fire units use specialist equipment to try and cut the driver free, Sergeant Gladwin investigates how the van crashed and flipped over.
Just looking at what's happened, it appears like he's lost control quite a way back, hitting the barrier and then flipping over, so probably going quite fast at the same time. And that's the result we're now in.
Whilst ambulance and fire are doing their work to either get the casualty out or to
to give them a first aid, we will set up road closures and ensure everything's safe, trying to protect the evidence where we can, but understanding that fire and ambulance have a job to do first of all before we can then begin our investigation. At the moment he's screaming in there, which is always a good sign to show he's awake, but he must be in a lot of pain and he's scrunched up, so fire are just trying to work out how they're going to get him out at the moment. It's always important that we have an open mind. That's no different with a collision. Although you may think you know what's happened, you have to consider other options, especially where there's no witnesses.
45 minutes after the crash, the driver is finally cut free and placed on a stretcher ready to be transported to hospital.
I'm amazed sometimes when I go to collisions to see the damage to a vehicle and how someone walks away from it alive. I guess that's a testament to the technology in vehicles in this day and age. So he's being put in the ambulance at the moment for them to do a proper assessment of him. They think he should be okay, but they just want to do a thorough assessment because with impacts like this, it's the internal injuries that can cause the most concern, things you can't see generally, so we're just going to wait to see what happens. We can leave a scene, still having no idea on how or why it's happened, but we don't just give in there. We will keep making inquiries over the coming days to try and establish the facts and gather as much evidence as possible to establish that. So, update from the ambulance crew is potentially life-changing, but not life-threatening. But it's not going to be serious enough that we're going to conduct a full investigation on. So we will do a local investigation here now, get the vehicle covered. Recovery just arrived, so they're going to flip the vehicle over to recover it, and then get it out of here and get the road reopened again.
Good boy. Get on.
Near Tewkesbury, police dog Elmo is closing in on suspects stopped near the scene of a high-speed accident.
Have we done DLs for both?
Yeah.
Who's got full? Who's got one? Both got full?
Traffic officers hope PC Dawkins and Elmo can link the suspects to the accident by tracking their scent from an abandoned crashed car.
You can see where the wind blows the scent. You can see them keep going in.
It is a lottery that we'll find them on whether the dog's scent will be interrupted. There's so many things that could affect it. Wind, weather, cars driving past, other people, animals.
But you can see when he pulls it up to this, I know that from working with him, he's pulling in to the scent. So.
But their noses are so strong, we have a really high percentage chance.
You stopped them.
Yeah.
Happy days, I'm happy with that.
If the track does come out positive and you do track to some people, obviously from our point of view it's brilliant because we've achieved what we wanted to achieve.
Because obviously we've had links to you with the car, okay, and we found possession of cannabis on you, okay, so I'm arresting you on suspicion of driving whilst unfit, driving whilst other than in accordance with your licence, leaving the scene of an RTC, and possession of cannabis, okay? So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you not mention when questioned something which you may later on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand?
The dog will look then for its reward, and yeah, he gets fussed all the way back and a few treats, obviously. So yeah, it's good for both of us.
They've got drugs on them, so I'm happy with that.
Good boy, Elmo.
Good boy. I would say it's quite one of the biggest examples of teamwork, really, because we do have to work together to get the job done, and obviously when it's a positive outcome, it's fantastic.
But yeah, happy days. He didn't mind doing that.
And as I've driven past him, he's watching telly on his mobile phone.
On the M5, just outside Gloucester, PC Webb is following a van whose driver seems to be watching TV.
Just going to try and get that captured, but I'm going to be ahead of you.
Webb radios in his colleague PC Bowers, who is following close behind.
I put a follow me up, mate, and I try and drag him off into the upload bay at 8.
It staggers me when I see people who are blatantly watching mobile devices or TV whilst they're driving. The fact that sometimes it's just really brazen, it just blows my mind. It's just, wow, how can people be so stupid?
Yeah, I just don't know what goes through people's mind, and he's watching the telly at what was 70 miles an hour, although he's slowed right down now, and people think that's okay. If I can, my preference is to take people off of the motorway. We're in a nice sterile area here. It's where people can't generally go to. He's following us, which is great.
As PC Webb deals with the driver, PC Bowers arrives to help out.
The reason I've stopped him is as I'm driving up the motorway, he's watching television on his phone.
No touch.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm just having a general look around the vehicle because it's in a really, really poor condition. So I've got the power under Section 67 to basically inspect this vehicle to make sure it's roadworthy.
As PC Bowers continues to inspect the vehicle, PC Webb tries to get his message across to the driver.
But with respect, sir, and I don't mean to be facetious at all, if you've explained to him you're a passenger in a vehicle and you're watching him driving up the motorway in this weather, we've had some horrendous weather, and he's watching the telly on his mobile phone whilst he's driving.
Quite often in my role, we come across people who English is not their first language, and regardless of the rules of the road, from where they may or may not have passed their test, you cannot be in control of a vehicle driving at 70 miles an hour whilst you're distracted. It's just not acceptable to be looking at screens whilst you're travelling at those speeds.
I've overtaken you and I've seen that television, and it was on its side at that time, it was sideways, widescreen, whilst you're watching telly. And then I've let you then overtake me again, and I've then overtaken you.
So I've checked on the DVLA website for this vehicle. It is taxed and it is MOT'd.
With the van checked out, the cops turn their attention to the driver and conduct a drug test.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. 8 minutes this takes. Okay.
As the officers wait for the drug test results, PC Bowers questions the driver further.
What have you got in the back, chaps? What have you got in the back? I see you from Handsworth in Birmingham. What? Is it scrap metal? Okay.
Never know police station will take me.
No, that's fine. No, I just wondered what you were carrying, that was all. Yeah.
So the drugs wipe is negative. What I might do, I might cut you a break, I might deal with this by way of a warning.
He was extremely lucky that he didn't injure himself or someone else. You only have to be momentarily distracted for things to go horribly wrong. And trust me, at those speeds, they go horribly wrong really quickly. So yes, he was lucky to escape with a warning, and he was lucky to escape without crashing his vehicle.
But what I am going to do is we're going to, because he's committed a moving traffic offence, several moving traffic offences, like the light is out, which you need to get fixed, but also watching the television, which is a serious offence. It's not in the court's interest for this to be heard at court, I would suggest, okay, because you're being quite reasonable. So I will deal with it by way of a warning, a driver's warning.
The passenger got the message across, I like to think, for us. I think he won't do it again.
So not arrested, okay? So you're free to go, okay? So be really careful, you're gonna have to be his eyes.
I hope he's taken what I've said on board, and it's my hope he tells his friends and relatives, within his community, because it's not okay to be distracted whilst you're driving.
So as soon as we've got somebody available, they will make round to the area and the location, okay?
On a busy Saturday night, Gloucestershire's force needs every available officer, and the help of a network of CCTV cameras to identify troublemakers.
Are you the night staff there? Okay, have you got CCTV that would have traced when he left the site?
The cameras are also there to protect the officers' backs when responding to disorder. It's approaching midnight, and in Gloucester city centre, PC Hewer and PC Arkle are a couple of hours into their night shift.
You want to be fairly alert. You always want to be wary of your full surroundings, really. It's important to, keep an eye on your colleague and make sure they're okay.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Gates have just had their door smashed, so there's a bar in town.
CCTV operators have alerted police to a man who has smashed a glass door. The bouncers have detained him while they wait for officers to arrive.
It sometimes only just takes one individual, and it may be that they've had a bad day, had too much to drink, something's happened inside, had a falling out with someone.
The first officers on the scene have cuffed the offender.
So you're under arrest on suspicion of damage. You don't have to say anything, but...
And the rapid response seems to have prevented things from escalating.
Anything you do say, maybe give it evidence, all right?
Has he caused any damage?
Yeah, it's that there.
Oh, nice, right, okay.
Right, step up, mind your head.
Yeah, nice one.
Step up.
Oh, lovely. Okay. We're all off the apartment.
Someone was a little bit intoxicated inside, and it's just in front of all the bouncers. He just kicked the glass door. It's all on CCTV. It was all in front of all the bouncers and the manager, so he's been arrested for criminal damage.
You take him home? Can you drop him off at my address, please? He's supposed to be coming home with me.
The suspect's girlfriend has turned up, but her plans will have to be put on hold for tonight.
You've got yourself arrested. Listen, you've kicked a door and you've smashed a door. You're a bit of a silly Billy because you've got yourself in this situation.
Well, you're in public, so...
And it only takes one person to sort of try and kick things off, and their friends join in, randomers join in, and the other people join in.
The pubs are closing and the crowds are thinning out, but not everyone is ready to head home.
No, go on, keep moving on. You're walking around shouting fuck the police a minute ago, so that kind of behaviour we don't want around here. So either go away. No, not a minute, I'm just asking you to go away. When you've got to deal with sort of drunk or abusive people, you want to show that you've still got control over the incident, because primarily you're there to prevent any offences. So making sure that you're giving them a fair chance, but you're ready to take positive action if you need to.
We'll see how it goes tonight. It's a bit too early to say.
Also on duty tonight are Sergeant Azam and PC Hemming.
I know obviously you're angry and upset, but no, that's fine. Yeah, no, you're doing absolutely the right thing. I appreciate you doing it.
There are over 90 CCTV cameras in the city centre, manned by a small team of operators.
On a weekend, the CCTV operator does a shift that almost matches our shift. So their job will just be monitoring the busy areas, and they will just keep an eye on the busiest clubs. They cover a lot of the city centre as well. They've all got radios so they can let us know when something's going on.
It's not long before an incident is picked up on CCTV and radioed to officers on the ground.
I'm going to get the officers straight to you.
Does someone need any assistance in town?
2 men have been arrested on suspicion of beating up a homeless man.
Why did you try running off? Have you done it? Look at my nose.
So why are you running?
Just left, right here.
Sergeant Azam and PC Hemming are racing to an assault after CCTV operators spotted a homeless man being attacked by 2 men.
Yeah, another unit's here, thank you.
The 2 suspects have been arrested near to where the assault took place.
Bravo Correct 1 on the last. The officers with the guy detained. There's a guy black tracksuit
with them at the moment.
No, this is a third time
not
now.
designed
Try
to-
and put your finger behind that.
Mate, I can even see by looking at it there's enough room.
Right, listen, jump in, watch your head, right?
I think some people look at homeless people and they look at them as like some kind of like scum, like something that you know, why are you homeless? Why are you sat there begging? Why are you asking for money and stuff?
When Sergeant Azam and PC Hemming arrive, the homeless man is being looked after by street pastors.
So we've stopped the guys involved, right? And they've been arrested. Do you want to tell us what they've done?
Attacking me. I just keep getting attacked by kids I don't even know them.
Okay, so how have they attacked you?
By attacking me full on, just attacking me.
What, punching, kicking?
Punching, whatever. I don't know because I was in the pub. I've been dancing and shit.
Okay.
Drinking, dancing and shit, and I've come out of there and I'm being attacked.
Okay.
By kids I don't even know.
Is there anyone we can call that you got any family or friends? Okay, all right.
Above anything else, our role as police is to protect people from harm. Everything else that we do comes below that.
What do you want to happen then about
I want to be dealt with.
Yeah? Do you want to give a statement?
Yeah,
okay.
Because I've had enough.
We'll just get you checked over first, all right? And then we'll talk about getting a statement from you. Are you injured or anything?
Yeah, my head's a bit bloodshot.
Can I have just shine a light on your head just to... You haven't got anything obvious on the back of your head. Do you think you need to go to hospital? You sure? He's been beaten up a bit. He looks like he's got a bit of a bump on the top of his head. He said he's got some pain in the top of his head. I've just put the details of the victim on the log. He's just been checked over by the street medic.
It's hard to understand why somebody would go up to a homeless person and hit them for some reason. They're not causing any issues to anybody, but for some reason, these people decide that they're gonna assault them.
With the homeless man being looked after by medics, PC Hemming heads off to join a colleague dealing with the suspects.
We're going to go and he's with the van with one of the kids that's been arrested, so we're going to transport him to custody now. Do you want to put your shoes on? We're here now.
At Gloucester Custody Unit, one of the men suspected of assaulting a homeless man has been brought in for questioning.
You've been arrested before, haven't you, you said, so you know what's going to happen now. All right, are you going to be all right when we get you out? No, they're not coming off until we get in there. You come in? You don't have a choice, you have to get out.
People, I think, just go out and then they look for people to, you know, who are lesser than them or more vulnerable than them, and it does make them feel better to make them feel bad. It doesn't deal with the issues they've got going on, but for that few seconds, they feel like they're a big person.
Wait there a minute, I'm gonna shut the door. All right.
He's been arrested for ABH. The arresting officer is 2869. The circumstances are he was seen in company of another male by the CCTV assaulting a male. Officers were in the area, officers attended, detained both males. This gentleman was one of those males, and he's got arrested for ABH.
I've been a police officer for 4 years now, and I've been dealing with drunk people ever since I can remember.
That basically, okay, that basically means we'll interview you and make some inquiries.
Yeah, but what time are you interviewing?
Honestly, this moment in time, I don't know at the moment. I don't know the inquiries are.
I don't think that's ever going to change. I think for the rest of my career, it's going to be the same.
This way.
Yeah, people are always going to drink. They're always going to go out and get drunk on the weekends. The police will always be there to look after them, keep them safe, or to deal with them when they get too out of hand.
Should we go?
Let's do a loop, please.
Loop home. Shall I just loop it down to Barton?
Not a straight loop. Loop means.
Okay, I'll go down King's
like
Barton
spin
and then come out
back
up there, and then turn right at the lights.
Sergeant Azam and PC Hemming are back out on patrol. And it's not long before another call comes in.
Well, we could have 175.
outside of the club. I think they said that he might have assaulted somebody or tried to assault somebody.
Dealing with drunk people on a regular basis, it does have an effect on you. I don't dread doing it. You almost become desensitized to that. I expect it every time I go out, so I'm prepared for it.
Right.
By the time they arrive, a man has already been handcuffed.
Taking a swing at one of these bouncers as we're getting out of the car. He's swung at this one. He's happy to give us a complaint for a common assault. I've locked him up for common assault and drunk disorderly.
Right, okay.
People under the influence of alcohol is quite individual thing. In some cases, people, they would like to have an argument.
Let my girlfriend come in.
I think you've had enough, son. Shouldn't be swinging punches at people.
They would want to fight, they would want a scuffle, they would want a confrontation.
The man is being arrested after allegedly punching one of the nightclub bouncers.
I'm not trying to swing punches on people. Do you know what I mean?
Stand up. Saw it. Stand up.
Stand up. What the fuck?
If someone's being physical whilst they're drunk, so we have to make sure that we contain them in an effective way that does not bring them to any harm.
Mate,
my own eyes.
Mate, it's okay. It's not okay. I'm not trying to fucking swing punches.
Well, you're not now. No, because you're in handcuffs, buddy.
No, exactly, mate. No, that's fine. And I would go home and I was fucking...
You're going to
Sorry, can you stand back for a minute?
I don't think I'll ever understand why people want to get so drunk that they can't walk and they don't know what's going on. There's got to be a reason for that. Maybe there is stuff going on at home and it's the best way to deal with it, but people need to be careful that doesn't then turn into, you know, something that has more of an effect on their life.
Yeah, just stand back.
I'll explain to you what's happened. If you step this side,
I don't know what's going on.
I'll explain to you.
As officers deal with the suspect, Sergeant Azam speaks with the man's girlfriend.
He's going to assault one of the staff members there, so now he's been arrested for assault and drunken disorderly. He's been told that.
For what? For what?
Because he went to swing for one of them.
Okay, I'm sorry, mate.
Even your girlfriend saw you swinging.
No, it's fine.
It's not fine.
All right, mate.
I'm not arguing with you. Get in
Mate,
the van.
in the van.
Despite his girlfriend's attempts to calm him down, the man refuses to get in the police van.
Listen to them and get in.
Mate, just climb in.
Get in the van. Come on.
Not that anything wrong with it. What the fuck?
I think that, like, drinking a lot and getting really drunk, like, mentality has always been there. The only issues I'd have with people who've drunk too much is they don't really seem to realise the impact they have on other people or care about the impact they're having on other people.
It's still a bit busy.
Sergeant Azam and PC Hemming are coming to the end of their shift after a long night dealing with drunks.
You can't win. No. Just can't win. I'm going to keep trying now.
Yeah, no, you just try harder, mate, please.
It's kicking out time at many of the pubs and clubs, and it's not long before the officers spot more trouble ahead.
Nothing happens at all, and then other times it could just be job after job after job.
A couple are arguing with bouncers outside a nightclub.
Touch me first. That's on camera. You have done so many times. First. That's on camera. That's on camera.
A man is claiming his wife has been assaulted inside the club.
Mate, that's on camera. What's it? He was literally just pulled up and said he's so aggressive. Right, okay. Right.
If she's been assaulted, she wants to speak to us or not?
Yes, she does.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's step that way then and let's sort it.
Ask him quick. There's two bouncers there that are there to protect you. They protect you and serve, right, in that club, right? They're detectives, right, yeah? Am I wrong in that?
Carry on, I'm listening, sir.
No, I'm not, that was a question.
As the man explains what has happened, his wife storms off.
See what she's doing. See what she's doing.
So I could arrest you. I could arrest you for criminal damage now, and then you have to pay for that bin.
Okay,
I'm asking you for your details. Okay.
For us to be able to prosecute people, we need people to give us statements. We need people to, I say support the police, but it's support what we do, how we do it, how we gather our evidence. Because ultimately, without a victim, in a crime, there's not much more we can do.
So you want me to look into that assault or not, the way you've been punched?
You want me to look into that?
Right, okay.
The woman does not want to give a statement, but her partner still wants officers to investigate.
Is it unreasonable if you've been chinned? It's not a fucking difficult question, right?
You don't need to swear, do you?
No, I don't. But sometimes that gets the point across, right? Because you're struggling.
It's not making
You're
any
struggling.
difference. I'm not struggling.
You are
at all.
struggling.
I'm not
It's obviously
struggling.
new to your
at all.
job. You're struggling.
I'm not struggling at all.
No? Are you new to your job?
No, I'm not.
Before I joined the police, I had an issue with confidence and stuff, and I think being in that situation, dealing with conflict constantly, and being able to keep your cool and deal with the situation that's in front of you is good for your own development.
With all due respect to all of you, I've spoken to the female, I've got all the details I needed. If that's the end of the conversation, we'll pack it up there. There's no point arguing about anything, with all due respect. Is
Where
that
are you
right?
taking the assault?
Say again?
Where are you taking the assault?
So anyway.
Why not?
Well, that's for you to have that conversation amongst yourself, all right, sir? Thank you very much.
Despite the woman's wishes, the man continues arguing.
Bouncer there.
Right, okay.
The white male has pushed me.
Right, okay.
Unprovocated.
Right.
Can I ask?
Until another emergency forces the cops to be on their way.
Can I ask just
No,
one
mate,
thing?
we're going to grade 1, so let him close the door.
It's a grade 1. Step away.
A grade 1 call requires an immediate response. It's another fight outside a club in the city centre.
Mate,
stop resisting.
Stop resisting.
As Sergeant Azam and PC Hemming arrive, officers are restraining a drunk man who allegedly punched a bouncer.
Goes up, he's holding on with that one. Mate, release your arm, stop resisting. Stop resisting, and let's put the cuffs on you. Roll over onto the front.
We'll do it nicely, and there's no need for this, right? Keep your arms on the side.
Why him hitting me?
Okay, listen, we'll speak to you. Put this arm on the side.
I've got... Alright, I'm gonna sit you up, mate. Alright, just sit there, don't move.
So when people have been drinking, they can react immediately to stuff and not think about what they're doing. So people get into fights quite easily over very minor things. We think the level of emotion that they're showing doesn't really match what has happened.
You're under arrest at the moment, so I'm searching you, alright? We need to find out who you are. Stick your leg down. Stick your leg down.
Whoa. Don't be like that, pal, boy.
The bouncer who was assaulted does not want to press charges, but even so, it's the end of the night for the drunk man.
Drunk people, they cause continuous issues. They can be quite resource intensive, so we spend a lot of time with them, dealing with them. There's not a lot of us as well on Street Safe on a weekend, so if we have to arrest somebody or take them out of the city centre, it means that then we've only got maybe a couple more resources in town to respond to anything that happens.
Due to behaviour of this gentleman, we're going to issue him with Section 35. He will not be able to come back to town centre for the next 24 hours.
Alright, watch your head, pal. There you go, good man.
We can use Section 35, which is the dispersal order, which basically says you are not allowed to return to the city centre for the rest of the night for 24 hours. If you do, then you'll be arrested for breaching that order.
For now, we're going to get rid of this gentleman. He's been issued Section 35, so he doesn't live far, half a mile from here. So we're going to drop him home, make sure he doesn't stay in the town, and that's going to save us any issues in the future. So even if victim doesn't want to press charges, but we've got any evidence on CCTV, we can still take the case forward.
Just follow him for a bit, see how he maintains his lane.
Near Stroud, PC Webb is back out on patrol.
So we've basically just done a big full circle to where we were by the end.
He's following a suspected drink driver seen leaving a country pub.
I've got absolutely zero sympathy for people who choose to go out, have a drink, and then get in a car and drive home and thinking it's okay. It's not okay. Frankly, if you're going to be drink driving, we're out there to catch you.
You alright?
Yeah,
I stopped you because you're going a bit quick.
In Stroud, PC Webb has stopped a suspected drink driver.
You were in the right-hand lane to go left. It's like you was like left hand down. And then when I went round that corner, I expected to see you, and you were like way in the distance.
Because I wasn't sure the turn off. I was staying in a B&B down here.
Whenever I stop a vehicle and I suspect that the driver might be drunk, there's a little bit of a game, a bit of kidology, because almost instantly you can tell from years of experience whether somebody is drunk.
You staying in the B&B, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you anything to drink tonight?
I had a couple of pints.
Yeah, I can smell a little bit of alcohol on you.
Okay. That's all I
Can I ask, could you put your cigarette out for me?
Yeah, no bother.
Yeah. If you just turn the ignition off for me.
People who live in the extremities and the rural areas think, well, the police are too busy in the town centres, so they're not going to come here. We know that happens. It doesn't mean you're not going to get caught.
Have you done one of these before, sir?
Not in this country, no.
Not in this country, okay. Just take a deep breath and blow into there for me, sir. Keep blowing. Stop, lovely. All right, it's 12:15, sir. Unfortunately for you, you're over the drink drive limit.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm arresting you for providing a positive roadside specimen.
Right.
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court.
Right.
Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
If somebody blows twice the drink driver limit, they've had a lot of alcohol on board. That's not a simple mistake. That's not half a pint over. It's a conscious decision that they've made whilst they're in the pub or the restaurant, and they've made a conscious decision to get in their car and drive.
Can I get you to pop your seatbelt on for me, sir?
Yeah, well.
At Gloucester police custody, the van driver who blew nearly twice over the drink drive limit has been brought in.
So this gentleman, Sarge, has been arrested on suspicion of drink driving. The circumstances are, I've seen him driving his motor vehicle in Stroud, driving in excess of the speed limit. So I've caused the vehicle to stop. I could smell alcohol in his breath, so I've requested a roadside breath sample, which provided a positive result and is the reason for his arrest.
So when we stop a vehicle at the roadside and we suspect alcohol, we put them on a roadside evidential breath test. That gives us a reading. If it results in their arrest, we take them to custody, where they go onto a bigger, more accurate machine, which is the machine which we use as evidence to put before the courts.
Blow. Keep going, 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 stop. Lovely.
There are happy drunks, there are angry drunks. It makes no difference to me.
So the results are in. So we've got two readings. One was 67 and one was 71. So as I mentioned before, we take the lowest reading, which is 67. So that's what you'll be charged with, 67.
If you're selfish enough to go to a pub or restaurant, drink, and then get in your car and drive home, putting your livelihood, your life, other people's lives at risk, we're out there and we'll do our best to catch you.
I think you've had enough, son. Shouldn't be swinging punches at people. Alright, watch out, pal. There you go. Good man.
Just take a deep breath and blow into there for me, sir. Keep blowing. Keep blowing. Stop. Lovely.
Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand?
And we're back on the Police Night Shift next Monday at 9. Brand new drama this week. The action is out Mountain West, starring Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford. The stunning 1923, Thursday night at 10. Next night, Barnsley's casualty takes no chances with a patient after a nasty fall down the stairs. Every second counts in just a bit.